So good day guys, this is the explanation of Wireshark. I told you guys yesterday that this captured memory is where we have all our interfaces. So currently now I have interface for Wi-Fi, VMware, then adapter for loopback. So whenever you are seeing this line like in front of any interface, it's telling you that interface is what is active. There is packets running on that network. It actually capture a packet on that network, so that interface is active. And here, let's start. If not to capture, I told you guys you can just double click or right click on it, but I'm not capturing my own network now. I want to explain using this already captured file here. So I told you two ways. You can come to your file to open, like, can you see now? So you can just click on it and open. Then it's going to load up here for you. So now I think the question we have to solve is like 5. Firstly, you have to look for the IP of the affected Windows client. Secondly, you have to look for the MAC address. Thirdly, you have to look for the host name. Then I think fourth, the username, and the last, the full name. So for us to do that, I told you guys, firstly, you have to determine the number of devices you have on your network. For you to check for the number of devices you have on your network, you come to this tab here, you click on it, and you click on endpoints. Now you come to IPv4. So here now, you can see the total number of devices available on this network that actually communicate on this network. So to determine your own the number of devices on your own network that you are working on, you look for the IP address. You look for the private IP address on the inside the IPv4 address. So all these things you are seeing, they are all public IP address. So the only private IP address you have there is this 10.2.2.1. So and this 10.2.2.2 here. So these four are the only private IP address you have there. So then after that, for you to determine the affected Windows device, you look for which device has the highest packet being transferred there. So you have this one, which is 14,673. And note this one, which is, I told you guys yesterday that IP address that actually ends with 255 is what we know as broadcast IP address. And the first one that ends with .1 might be the default gateway. So the only two you have left is these two. So now, and this one has the highest packet number. So which means this IP address actually belongs to the affected Windows. So this is how to check for number. We are achieving two things here. First is to check for the number of devices you have on your network, and secondly to check for the one that has the highest packet, which is this one. This is the affected one. So that is for number 1. And I think for number 2 is the MAC address. Since we know the IP address of our network or our device, so just come to this packet here. Look for where you have that IP address here, and you can see you have the IP address here. You can just click on it. After clicking on it, go to this part here. So this part here, you can see phone, several packets, so one of them 2 bytes or whatever. This tells you the physical layer. You have, so you get the physical layer out of the 7 layers you have for OSI model. And the second layer you have here is the what internet. And that's the data gateway layer. That's where you are going to find our MAC address. So under here now, you can see this IP address actually is under our source IP. So now if you come here and look for the source MAC address also, which is this one. So this is how to check for MAC address. The MAC address of our device. This is the MAC address. So I told you that this MAC address is going to divide into 2. This first thing belongs to the manufacturer, and this thing belongs to the device. And you can see it's enter is the manufacturer, and this belongs to the what? To the device. That's the second question. And the third question here is for you to check for the host name. I told you if you want to check for the host name, you can make use of this filter here. So if you click on this filter here now, filter will allow you to look for a specific protocol. So the protocol that actually has that, where you can get that host name, is what we know as NBNS. So you click on enter. It's going to load up the NBNS for you, which is the Net by Host Name Service. This is where you can get the host name. So you click on start clicking on it, then you drop this down. You can just come down to this column, you drop down. Then you drop down this also. Can you see the name of our host name is what desktop TEYQ2LR. This is the host name. This one check for host name. Then when you are done with that, you can just like load the packet again. I'll just remove this, cancel this, reload the packet. So I think we are done with this one. The third one is to check for the username. And I told you to check for the username. You can just filter and check for the protocol called campus. This protocol is campus. So you click on it. You can come down here. Just where you have campus here, you can click on this one and come down to this part here. See campus here. You drop down, then you can go to this request, you drop down. This request body, you drop down also. Then you go to CNAME. Can you see? So the CNAME string is what is this. And you can also make this as a column. So you can just right click on it, then apply as what as column. So can you see CNAME string is bringing out BROF. So BROF is the what is the username. So you get that's the username for our device. So then when you are done, you can just right click on it and just what remove this column, remove it. So that's all for that. And the last one we have is check for the full name. How do you check for full name? How do you check for full name? To check for full name, you can just to check for full name. I told you want to check for full name. You can just come to this icon here, this search icon. You click on it, you drop down. So here you have then you change this one to packet details. Then you also change this one to string. So you get. Then after changing to string, to narrow your search, you can just make this one case sensitive. So it's not going to be looking, it's going to be looking for what's case sensitive. Then you can just type something like off. And now I told you an organization, when you're trying to create a username, you create a username using this thing like BROF, sure you get. So it means maybe B stands for the surname and ROF is the name. So it's going to shorten down one that surname as B ROF. So you are looking for the full name now. And you click on enter. Can you see now? It actually brought us here, which is what Bekarov. This is the full name here. So this is how to make use of Wireshark to do all those things. And also you can also make use of Wireshark to perform different actions. So you can check for DNS, which is the domain name system. You need to put out the DNS. So here you can see different domain name, all of that. You can just click on any of these. You can drop down, go to queries. This is the name. You can just right click, make it what apply as column. Then here you can just scroll down. Then you see different domain name. You see this one easy as one to take .tech. This one as .net. So here it should be easier for you to check for different kind of domain name you want to check for. Then when you are done, you can just right click and what remove this column. So you get. You can come here if you have HTTP. You can type HTTP. So you have HTTP here. Can you see different kind of protocols? So then you can just click on it. This one says 200 OK. Post, you want to see this post means this is HTTP method, which means you are sending something like post, you want to put something, uploading something there. So you want to check for okay, what is this person posting here? You can just right click on it. You can come to follow stream here, follow stream, then HTTP stream. Click on it. So can you see everything? You can see it here. You have this 200 OK. post. What is this posting? So you check for everything. This is just so. But no, let me tell you something. If this is because this is HTTP, that's why you are seeing everything in plain text. But if you are making use of TCP, if you are making use of HTTPS, which is the secured version for HTTP, everything will be in ciphertext. And for the three-way handshake I taught you guys earlier, can you see? This is more like IP address of a server. So the host wants to connect to this server. So it's going to send a SYN packet first. That are you there? This is a SYN packet. Can you see now? Then the server actually replies with what? SYN ACK. I'm there. Are you also available? Then this one, the browser, which is the client, replies to the send another ACK message to the server. And this is what we call a three-way handshake. Can you see? This is three-way handshake. Then they start communicating by posting. Sure you get this is the response and all of that. This is how to check for this is how to make use of Wireshark. So thank you very much. If you have any question, tell me. So I hope with this one now that I just explained to you guys will be able to do the assignment I told you guys to do. So I'm expecting your assignment. You have to submit by Wednesday.